Hello, my name is Marc Evans, and I am presenting my team's debug report. We are Team Marc Evans, and it consists of myself, Brendan Ho, and Prudhvi. We got our bug from Brandon Vrooman and Samir Sulkonovic. So the bug report they gave us a bit of code that when the project is built and run in release mode, the application crashes and presents an access violation error. So the obvious thing we want to take a look at here is the difference of what happens when running in debug mode and release mode. This is the program running in debug mode. You get a blank window that has Hello World as the title. There's apparently supposed to be some color going on in there in the window to make things interesting. We asked the group that gave us the code about this, and they said, yes, there's some bug going on there where there's nothing being displayed, but that's not the purpose of the bug that they've actually given us to solve, so we're just going to ignore that. This is what happens when the program is run in release mode. You get a crash, an unhandled exception, or an access violation. So this leads us to believe that there's some type of memory problem going on. It's a bit of a hint, but the first thing we want to do is to just see where the code is crashing. So we breakpoint it up and start seeing where we can get the code to actually crash for the first part. And what we actually find out is the crash is occurring during the initialization steps of most of the stuff that's going on here. In fact, the very first time it crashes is when the first custom data type is allocated to any memory here. Here we have m-platform support and render system initialize. And the second that they create a new platform or support or set that variable equal to that, that's when the crash occurs. So again, we already know that there's some type of memory problem going on, and it's happening on the very first allocation of that memory. So this makes me think that the best approach to this is to check to see where they are allocating memory, if there's an issue there. Luckily, they've labeled their stuff very well, and there's a nice little folder called memory that has a whole that will likely contain what we're looking for. In fact, there's another folder inside of that called allocation policies, which contains 3 files which likely contain what we're looking for. So I took a look inside of these 3 files, and I found something special in the one clairvoyance memory allocation policy pool.inl. And we find this very suspicious piece of code here. What we have is an if statement that occurs only in debug mode and in the else part recurring in any other mode. If we are in debug mode, we set whatever memory we're allocating to a fairly large size, and if we're not running in debug mode, we set it to an extremely small size. So what's likely happening in the code here, when we're in debug mode, enough memory is being allocated so no crash occurs. When we are in release mode, there's very little memory being allocated, so when any processee tries to be done with the data type allocated to this very small memory, and it tries to access parts of itself that it doesn't actually own, that's where we get our access violation error. We were able to correct this 2 ways, simply by just taking out the if statement and only keeping the first S heap area reset, or you could just copy paste the first if and copy it onto the second one. It really doesn't matter. And what you will end up getting when you run in release mode is the exact same thing that is displayed during the debug mode. And thank you very much.